Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be walking you through virtualization. Virtualization software allows for a user to install, use, and manage multiple operating systems on one physical device. Many companies utilize virtualization to reduce the overhead cost of having multiple devices to run multiple operating systems. Things like Windows, Linux, Macintosh, an assortment of others. Virtualization can be used to run these operating systems without the need of having multiple desktop computers or laptop computers and etc. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to use a program called VirtualBox. VirtualBox is software developed by Oracle that allows the user to easily install and run operating systems of the user's choice. So starting with VirtualBox, owning their own domain, you'll visit a website, virtualbox.org, proceed to their downloads page, and find an array of packages depending on your current operating system. For this demonstration, I'm using a Windows-based computer, so I will be downloading the Windows host for the VirtualBox 7.0.18 platform package. After the download finishes, you can run the installer, in which the wizard will appear. Once it runs, just follow the steps to properly install Oracle's VirtualBox. Many of the device's default settings will be more than standard for any of your basic needs. Now, if you have policies and procedures that you're following through corporate use, you will have to maintain certain levels of security as well as the direct need for certain features to be within compliance of your business's policy. For this demonstration, we will keep everything at a base default just for a simple demonstration of how this works. Oracle's VirtualBox allows you to connect to external networks, so you're able to access the internet within your virtual environment. And in doing so, you might notice a slight disruption from your own personal computer's network connection, but is easily rectified once it's actually installed. So we're going to go ahead and click yes, that we want to implement the network interfaces. Proceeding with this installation allows for the download of excess files, packages that might be needed to allow Oracle's VirtualBox to run at its full capacity. So for this step, we're going to proceed with the installation and go ahead and install. After a few moments, the application is installed, VirtualBox 7.0.18, and we can now go ahead and launch Oracle's VirtualBox. When you first open your VirtualBox Manager, you'll notice that it's very clean, simple, straightforward, not a lot of clunky terminology, things that might cause confusion and or improper installation of new software. Here on the left, you will see all the different operating systems as they get installed. Each operating system is held inside of its own container, so they're easily accessed and can be switched as ease. So for this demonstration, we're going to go ahead and click New. So initially, a wizard will appear that's very straightforward. It'll ask you to name your virtual machine. So we will name this one Windows 10. Now, as for the current demonstration, I do not have a backup file of an ISO for Windows 10 to which you would select your ISO file and insert it here, which acts as your booting material so you can actually install Windows 10. For this demonstration, however, I will explain all the steps needed to set up your virtual machine leading up to the point at which you will actually install the operating system and follow the step-by-steps to make sure that Windows 10 is up and running properly. Down below, you'll see that there's an array of different operating system brands: Windows, Linux, Macintosh, etc. So for this demonstration, we will be selecting Microsoft Windows, as well as your version. Now, while this list may look very large, realize that over the course of 20, 30 some years, Windows has been progressively developing new and more improved operating systems, ranging all the way back to Windows 3.1 to as far past Windows 11. So for today's demonstration, we're going to be installing Windows 10 64-bit version. Now, as you see below, it states that no ISO image is selected, so you will have to install it manually. So we're going to go ahead and click Next. You can modify your computer's hardware within the virtual program to essentially mimic what you would have on your physical computer. Your base memory, or your RAM, and your processors can both be adjusted based on the usage of the software. If you're planning on using a program to run basic software such as certain games, if you're a gamer and you wish to use an older software that can no longer be used on a newer software, or even for business purposes where you might have to run certain programs and executables that force you to have more processing power or more RAM. So for today's demonstration, we're going to upgrade this all the way up to 8 gigabits of RAM, and we're going to stick to 2 processors. Virtualization allows you to create hard disk space within the machine itself to use. As you're installing virtual software on your computer, the space still has to get allocated. Creating virtual space takes a section of your own hard drive out and deposits it into a virtual space to be used just in that virtualized software. If you have a 1 terabit hard drive, then you do not want to create virtual hard disks of multiple terabits if you don't have the space to create it to begin with. So for this demonstration, we're going to go up to 150 gigabits of space. You can also choose to use an existing virtual hard drive if you have multiple operating systems already installed. Sometimes it would be easier if you choose to have a 1 terabit space and use that and divide between Windows 10, Windows 11, or even Windows XP. After we click Next, A list of all your information that you had just selected gets put into the table. The name of your machine, where it's going to be saved at, the ISO file, if we have one, the type of operating system you plan on using, the amount of memory, number of processors, and your disk drive space. Once this is done, you're going to go ahead and click Finish. And you will see in the left-hand panel that now Windows 10 64-bit has its own panel. On the right-hand side, you now see that you have multiple sections that you could choose from, ranging from your audio drivers, storage devices, display capacities, as well as some of the information that you put in yourself, including your RAM size, your processor size. Now, if we attempted to run Windows 10 virtualization, you will notice that without the ISO file, it essentially is unable to actually boot up. So since we're essentially missing the ISO file or a USB drive with backup material, it shows that it's actually unable to install. So now that we've hit a point at which the VirtualBox can no longer move forward with the operating system installed due to missing the bootable files, we'll go ahead and click Cancel. Since the VirtualBox is still running, we have to close the machine. It'll ask if we want to save the current state that it's in, or go ahead and power it off. For this demonstration, we're going to go ahead and power off the machine and click OK. We're brought back to this page. Now, if we wanted to do something else, such as, say, a Macintosh-based operating system, we'll go ahead and type in Mac OS is the name. We again do not have a selected ISO file, and you can choose your version. For this demonstration, I'll just be using the Macintosh OS X 64-bit. Click Next. You see the same general information as before. Your base memory, your processors, your virtual disk space, as well as your summary. On the left-hand side, you're listed all of the different containers that you have created to house your virtualized software. Each program, once properly installed, can be easily ran and maintained from your base computer. Having a tool such as Oracle's VirtualBox makes this impeccably easy. On a standard user level, it offers a simplistic menu, a very straightforward wizard to install your containers, as well as any support that you might run into in the event that something catastrophic happens. Using VirtualBox, as well as many other hypervisor-based programs, allow for businesses to minimize the overhead cost that it might undertake if they need to use a program such as Windows or a program that needs Macintosh OS without the need to purchase new physical hardware. So that's it for today. Today's Oracle VirtualBox Manager installation is complete, and we'll see you next time.